Drag makeup tutorial, baby. Let's go. Starting off by popping off the shirt, popping on the wig cap, and cleaning the sides of the face with rubbing alcohol and a tissue, as per usual, cleaning off the brows as well, and applying Pros-Aid to where I plan on putting my face tapes. 6 tapes again this time. One by the arch of my eyebrow, one on my cheekbone, and one under my ear, on both sides of the face, of course. And there I am popping the face tapes on and patting them down just to make sure that they're really stuck there. Now, the elastic snapped. The little latch snapped off of the elastic and it whacked my eye, and that was incredibly painful and disturbing, and I feel like I almost blinded myself. So since then, I have started closing my eyes as I pull those back. Applying Elmer's glue to my widow's peak, my sideburns, and my eyebrows, just to block it all down, make sure that there aren't any flyaways from my hair poking on my wig cap. Popped on a headband just to hold the face tapes in place a little extra, and cleaned off my lip with rubbing alcohol so as to apply Pros-Aid. Because, you guessed it if you've seen my previous videos, we are going to make a scar wax lip. I have been in love with scar wax lately. It's so much fun. And you can use it for horror, or you could use it for glamour. At least, you know, by my standards. If, you know, maybe if I had a high definition camera pointed at me, I wouldn't want my lip to be made of scar wax, but for my purposes and my cameras, it works fine. So I popped the scar wax on and molded it into a lip shape, and then added some lip-like details with thin wire, and I'm now applying pink eyeshadow just to blend it with my face, because it's satisfying. And now it is time to apply more scar wax. Cleaned off my chin with rubbing alcohol, put some Pros-Aid down, and started to apply scar wax. My idea was to have cuts running down from the both corners of my mouth and somewhere in the middle of my mouth. And my idea from the beginning was to have barbed wire snaking up from my chest and into my mouth. And I would have done more, you know, strings of barbed wire going into my mouth, but I did want to use the scar wax to make it look like the barbed wire was digging into my face, and any more than 3 would have been a bit of a nightmare. Now, unfortunately, the scar wax that you see me applying, and that you will see me working so hard on throughout the course of this video, started to fall off when the barbed wire was applied, because the barbed wire wasn't staying where it was supposed to be, and the scar wax is very sticky, and it stuck to the barbed wire, and then when the barbed wire moved, shall we say, the scar wax moved with it, lifting off of my face. But it was, you know, it was fun practice with scar wax, and it looked good before I put the barbed wire on it, and it still looked good with the barbed wire. It just wasn't the fine-tuned detail that I worked on so hard. I just added a bunch more layers of Elmer's glue to my eyebrows, gave a quick blow dry at the end to make sure that they're mostly dry, and set it down with loose powder, and now I'm applying a putty primer to my face. And now it is time for foundation. I started trying to apply it with sponge, and it was taking too long, so I just glopped it on my face. This is a Meron white cream stick. I applied a good number of layers of it because it has a tendency to lift off of my face as I blend it with a sponge. So I just glopped it on there and used a brush to put it on the scar wax areas and on my lip and any hard-to-reach places. I just used a brush. And fine-tuning, and now I'm setting everything down with a loose white powder. This is, I think, a Ben Nye white. Clown white, maybe it's called? And now it's time for the eyes. I decided to do a brown crease for the most part, at least at first. So I went in with a light brownish color and started to sketch out the shape that I wanted for my eye, extending it underneath my eye as well. Same thing on the other side, just sketching out a basic shape with a light brown color and blending it out into the white makeup. Blending and blending and blending. The eyes probably take the longest out of everything for me. There's so many steps and you have to be so careful and neat. So now I'm going in with a darker brown, adding a smaller amount than I did the lighter brown, and blending it in with the lighter brown. And this creates that fade effect that we're going for to give the illusion of a new eye crease. I went in with a black eyeshadow color at this point just to add an extra dark color, and I wasn't too happy with the way that made it look. It kind of grayed the whole thing, which I wasn't too pleased with. So I went back over the black with a super dark brown, and then sort of called it a day as far as that went. And then I went in with an eyeshadow base, a super thick white base, to clean up the edges of the new crease that I put in, and to set the stage for the application of eyeshadow onto my actual eyelids. And I used a pinkish color, I think, and then a lighter sort of beige-ish color in the center of my eye to try to give that, eyelid pop look. And then I added some extra dark eyeshadow colors towards the corners of the new crease, both corners of my eyes. And then the same exact thing on the other side, going in with the thick eye shadow primer, and then the pink eyeshadow on both ends and the lighter one in the center, and then adding some extra dark colors towards the edges. I think that about did it for that stage of the eyes, and now it's time for the eyeliner stage. I used a Marron stick, which is so much easier than eyeliner. I just used, for the first time in ages, liquid eyeliner for my makeup session today, a different makeup session. And it's so difficult. It's so hard to work with. You have to be so careful. This stuff is easy. I'm used to brushes, so maybe that's really all it is. I have more control over it because I'm used to handling brushes. So I like a good wing, pretty much always, and I've been doing that connecting cat eye thing, that Elvira thing, shall we say. I've been doing that a lot lately, and I added an extra wing today underneath the main wing, just for fun. And I have hooded eyelids, so I tend to overdraw the eyeliner a significant amount. Adding some white, I think probably eyeshadow primer, the same stuff, to the corners of my eyes. And then I probably set it with powder, I think. Sketching out the eyebrows and drawing them on with a light brown color at first, and then a darker brown, I believe, and then going in with a extra dark brown and adding hairs, which is what I'm doing right now. The eyebrows have been a journey for me, and I've very recently, actually in this video right here, landed on a shape that I really like. I like these brows. That sort of arched scenario. Now going in with a light brown, I think the same shade that I used on my eyes. I tend to do that. Use the same shades for one makeup look. And starting to contour. I usually will contour and highlight with foundation, but since I'm doing an all-white face, that usually, in this case, is reserved completely for the powders. They pop a lot anyway, so it is totally fine. And just going in with progressively darker colors towards the edges of my face to try to really cut that cheek. And I got the temples and around my forehead, and now I'm going in and working on the nose. That always takes a little bit of time, just sculpting it away, blending it out, and then adding darker colors and blending that out too. The nose has been another journey for me, still learning, still learning with all of this. Hopefully never stop learning. And now I think I went in with some white pressed powder just for, shits and giggles, in the highlight areas. And now I believe I'm going in with blush. I wasn't sure what color to use, and I never found, a color that I was pleased with for this look. I think I used like a sort of pinkish eyeshadow for the blush, and it was all right, but that was about it. It was all right. and I left it subtle because I just wasn't sure what I wanted. And now I'm going in with a black, probably cream, black Marron cream into the gashes, scar wax gashes, and setting that, no doubt, with black powder. And now I started a huge step of this project. This was a very in-depth, long, detailed makeup session. I think the whole session was about 5 hours, not including hair, not including photos. So I'm applying scar wax after, of course, applying spirit gum to my chest to make a gaping heart hole. There's really no good way to describe this other than gaping heart hole, I think. I'm just trying to blend it out to the best of my ability and going in with a tool and making it look like torn flesh. This was difficult and I was kind of over it at this point, so I just sort of wung it. And, you know, was just looking to get it done quickly. Now I'm going in with a water-based white. So every time I do body paint now, I am using a water-based color. It's just so much easier, and it comes off so much easier. This was giving me trouble today, though. It was going on very streaky, and the thing with water-based paint is, you know, each time you put on a new layer, you activate the layer that already went on because you're putting more water on it, and, you know, it's water-based activation. So it can be frustrating. I haven't quite yet figured out how to get a nice clean brush stroke with this stuff. Applied some black water-based paint to the inside of the heart hole as well, and then set everything down with translucent powder, which I'm not sure if it's necessary, but I did it anyway. And then I went in with cream foundation and just sort of added some white paint to the scar wax and tried to blend it in with the water-based paint. Didn't work out too well. But, you know, when everything was in place, all the details, you can't notice that big white block there next to the heart hole. And then I went in with a dark eyeshadow, same colors that I used on my face, and just sort of gave a quick sculpt to my body on the sides of my neck to, you know, thin my neck down. I have a very wide neck. And then I, you know, just under my shoulder, what do you call those things? The neck bone things, just to make them prominent for fun. And then I went in with some red eyeshadow and started to think about what I was going to do with the lips. I decided to do a kind of clownish, blurry red lip with eyeshadow. I went well beyond where I planned my lip line to be and blended it out into my face. And then I went in with black cream to sketch out where I wanted the barbed wire to go. Now, the plan was to literally pass the strands of barbed wire along these exact spots and make it kind of look like a shadow or something like that. That did not work out at all. I ended up just sort of sticking the barbed wire wherever it would sit comfortably. But it ended up looking cool anyway with all of the extra detail of the black lines underneath. Yes, I'm working on details now, adding some sort of blue-like, vein-like things around the heart. I did not have a small enough brush for this, so the veins looked a little thick, a little crunchy, a little unvein-like. And then I went in with just purples, blues, greens, I think I had in there just to get that nice little bruise situation going on. Now I'm going in with a red liquid lipstick to the fake scar wax lip and my normal real lip underneath, and just plopping all that on there, ploppity ploppity. Trying not to mess up the scar wax as I do it, of course. It's actually very easy to do. Just fine-tuning. I think adding more red eyeshadow around the lips just to blur the lip out a little bit more. And extending the black into my lips, I think, to make them look cut. Highlighting with white here and there. I sprayed my face down with a setting spray. Always do that. I always do that. And then I put mascara on my eyelashes, and then I popped in some black contact lenses, which I wanted to do before putting on the eyelashes because it's much harder to put the contact lenses in when the eyelashes are already on. However, some of the contact lenses that I own are kind of terrible, I have realized, and very kind of hard and crunchy. They move around in my eye sockets a lot and do not sit comfortably, so they are the last step. These ones, however, are excellent, these black lenses. I've had them for years and they are so comfortable. I barely feel anything. Popped on lashes, as you could see, top and bottom, and now I'm going in with blood gel. Really difficult, annoying substance to work with, but it looks good. And I just put it in the scar wax gashes and then in the heart hole gash and sort of splattered it here and there. And then, as you will see, I went in with lip gloss. Of course, I never forego lip gloss. I love lip gloss. It just really brings it together for me. And then I went in with regular old fake blood, tried to do some drippy things down my face. It didn't really work. And then I did the old toothbrush trick, dipped the toothbrush in the blood and splattered it all over the place. And then I went in with black liquid lipstick and added 2 tear marks. And that is it, you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and here is the final transformation.